So guys, being excited is an understatement. Tomorrow marks the day my Tesla solar installation starts and apparently is completed. So I signed up for Tesla Solar a few weeks ago. January 24th is the day. It stuck in my head and the process was pretty simple. A lot of the waiting was just waiting on permitting and scheduling time for the power company to come out to cut the power off while they install the power walls and solar and everything like that. Anyway, what I want to do is just go through the whole process of me purchasing solar from Tesla, giving my just opinions on the whole process, what went good, what went bad, and just kind of go from there. So like I said, tomorrow is when they come out to install the solar and the power walls. So definitely make sure you're subscribed because I'm going to be documenting this whole process from beginning to end and whatever comes next, just kind of giving the pros and cons of everything. So if you're interested in solar and Powerwall, stay tuned. Also keep in mind that this may be different depending on what state you're in, what electric company you're in, what Tesla service center is helping you. It could all be different, but for me, the process went very smooth. So basically on the 24th is when I ordered solar. I originally ordered it without power walls, just the solar panels themselves, because when you order solar by itself, it's more comparable to your electric bill if you consider the monthly payment for the loan versus your electric bill. When you start adding Powerwall, that's when the price starts to separate, and Tesla plus Powerwall is way more expensive than your electric bill, so you're not really saving money there. But what ended up hitting the nail on the head for me, I initially ordered solar, but during the process, it allows you to add Powerwall. I ended up adding two for kind of one or two big reasons. So one of the big reasons why I opted for a Powerwall, or actually got two, is because a lot of people don't know, if you have solar and the grid goes out, you cannot operate your solar panels if the grid is out, because from what I understand, the solar could backfeed into the grid, and when the workers are working on the lines, they can end up getting zapped from your solar panels. That's just the quick reasoning. Maybe there's something else to it. I haven't really looked into it. But anyway, you can't use solar if the power is out. So say, for example, a big hurricane hit me in Florida, our power is out for a week. I would have all these nice solar panels on our roof and I couldn't use them. So the price of the Powerwall, where it is a lot, it seems very no-brainer and priceless to just get it done all at the same time. The Powerwalls allow you to be independent from the grid even at night or when there's cloud cover. Just the idea of that sounds really cool to me. I would love the ability to power my car from the sun, power my whole house from the sun, and also at night continue to be powered from the sun from the batteries that the solar power charges. Now it's important to also mention that, like I said, the Powerwalls make the cost effectiveness of solar way less cost effective because in Florida and also tons of other places, we have something called net metering. So what that allows you to do after you apply for net metering with your power company, any excess power that you produce, you give it back to the grid, and at night you buy it back typically for the same exact price. So that's great because if you buy a very big solar panel system for your house, if you overproduce during the day, at night you can use that extra power. Because typically what happens, a lot of people work during the day, so they're not really using power at all. Typically you make your AC a little bit warmer, you're not using the dryer, you're not charging your electric car if you have one. But when you get home at night, typically when the sun is going down is when you start using more power. So that's where net metering comes in handy. So for me, I probably could have gotten away with just using solar panels by themselves, but I wanted the Powerwalls for that independent ability from the grid and also to operate my house when the power goes out. So I ordered the solar on, I believe it was the 24th is a Friday, and I ordered it really late at night. To my surprise, the next day, a Saturday around noon, I got text messages and an email from someone at Tesla saying that they received my application for solar and that I need to upload copies of my utility bill and other stuff like that. I actually uploaded copies of my utility bill, and when you go through the process, they want you to upload a ton of pictures. So you're kind of going on a scavenger hunt in your garage, on the side of your house, by your air conditioning unit. They just want to see like what your panel looks like, what your air conditioning unit looks like, the area around that, like in your garage or the side of your house, so they can see what they're working with. Honestly, the process is kind of, it's a little annoying because you have to go and take pictures, but it probably cuts out an unneeded step of someone coming to your house to evaluate everything. So in that case, like I don't mind taking pictures because that's one less thing I have to schedule, one less day I have to request off of work or go into work late. So it was fine. You know, I have nothing to complain about that process at all. Okay, so a few days later on January 29th, I actually received my blueprints for the solar for me to approve. So it was literally like my roof with where the solar panels were going to go. That was honestly the first time where I was super hyped. Like I actually saw my house, saw where the solar panels were going to go. I approved that. And also I believe same day I was sent emails to apply for the solar loan. So the solar loans are a little bit different than normal loans. So for one, which this may differ depending on where you live, but I was offered a 10-year loan and a 20-year loan. The 10-year loan had a cheaper interest rate of 3.99%. The 20-year loan had interest rate of 4.99%. So I did save 1% of interest by opting for the 10 years. Of course, your payments are going to be higher, but my thought process, I wanted the loan to be paid off quicker because solar panels, they don't last forever and they're only warranted up to a certain amount of time, which is like 20, 25 years. And I just wanted to pay them off, and I wanted to have this long time in my life where I'm just basically generating free electricity with no bills at all. And you could definitely throw out the, well, that's stupid, you know, interest rate of 4.99 isn't bad. You should have taken that, put your excess monthly payments into the market because consistently over time, the stock market goes up in value more than that. Whatever, it's just kind of like a mental thing for me. I just really would like the solar and Powerwalls to be paid off as soon as possible because the idea of generating electricity for free with no monthly payments at all, including the loans, is great. So the 29th, I applied for the loan. I picked the 10-year, 3.99%. Also, it's important to note that solar loans are a little bit different than other loans because after 18 months, they kind of renew. So what that does, it gives you the ability to kind of renew your loan at a cheaper monthly payment because what they're planning on you doing is doing your taxes, filing that solar tax credit, getting that money back, and applying that money to the loan. So say, for example, I do my taxes, I get, I don't know, $5,000 back in cash. What I would do is take the $5,000, pay it directly to the loan, and at that 18-month mark, they basically re-amortize the loan, figure out what the monthly payments are. And it basically tells you what your payments are going to be if you don't do that. So mine would go from like $300-ish a month to like $400 a month if I don't do that. What I'm probably also going to do is just pay a little bit extra towards the loan every month as well, just so that monthly payment can be like under the $300 mark. And also too, I haven't really talked about this, but if you're curious about my electricity bill, I live in Florida, so definitely it's way cheaper during the winter time. We barely run our heat at all. If it is, it's for like an hour or two in the morning. And then during the summer is when our electricity bill goes way up because we're running the AC all the time. So cheapest our electricity bill ever is throughout the year is about $100. But then during peak like heat season during the summertime, it goes above $200. So if you take my 10-year loan that I did, which includes Powerwall, it's like $300 for the first 18 months. And that's what it should be after the tax credit is applied. So as you can see, like it's not cost effective. Like I'm not printing money. I'm not saving money by doing this. But a big part for sure is the Powerwalls because like that's where you're going to lose money compared to your electricity bill. Also too, I opted for 10 years versus 20. And when you do the 20-year loan, that makes it easier to compare to the cost of your electric bill. So if I opted for solar only, did 20 years, then the payments would be way closer to my electric bill. Okay, so around January 30th is when we started moving the process even more. I was sent an application from Florida Power and Light to complete for net metering. So again, net metering is where you have the ability to sell electricity back to the electric company. So for how it works with FPL, if you produce excess power during the day, at night you can use it for the same price, but at the end of the year, they sell it back to you, but for a way cheaper rate. So for example, if I overproduce all year and still have extra, they'll send me a check, but for way less than what I would have paid them. So basically what that means, it's not benefiting you to have a huge system that's way bigger than what your house could use, because you're not going to make as much money as what you would basically not paying on the loan. So if you have a very small house, don't try to get the large system, because the money that you recoup back from the electric company isn't going to make it worth it. Also too, I was FedExed some documents around that same time period. It's like a notice of commencement with my city. Some other documents as well, like permits. One of the documents did have to be notarized, so just keep that in mind. Getting a notary is a little bit inconvenient. If you bank at a local bank, you can go there, get a notary, typically for free. I've also seen you can get notaries at at the UPS store or like packaging places like that. They typically do notaries for a small charge, but whatever. And February 12th, I just followed up with them asking if they got the documents. They did. They're basically working on the whole process. This was like the first time I actually followed up myself. Previously, like they were bombarding me with emails and updates and texts and everything. Like the whole process, I was just confident that it was going smooth. This was like the first time that, I followed up with them. Not a really bad thing, but I tend to do that after, a few days of complete no communication. And then 2 days later, I actually got an email from the supervisor. It was a big, long email with a lot of information. He was with the actual Tampa location. So that's the specific location that I would assume be coming to my house to install everything. He sent me again a kind of summary of what's going on. He explained how the whole process works. So we have to make sure the time frame of the permits and scheduling time for the power company to come out and all that falls in line. So I scheduled a time that worked good for me, which was like March 31st, which, keep in mind, that's pretty far away, but the whole scheduling thing with Florida Power and Light was the biggest issue because they didn't have much flexibility with that. So around February 28th or sometime before that, I followed up with them saying if we ever got a time scheduled with Florida Power and Light. It seems like they were having issues scheduling it with somebody. Like, I guess they would used to call them to schedule it, but now they're instructed to do it through a portal. They explained to me that the portal was very unuser friendly. But anyway, good news is that we changed the time from the 31st of March to the 9th of March. For whatever reason, there was some immediate availability, but then if I waited at all, I would have to wait until April, so not sure what happened there, but I'm thankful for it. The permitting actually came back a little bit earlier too, so the time frame I was initially given, we got to schedule it before then. So basically the last form of communication that I've gotten so far is just a reminder that they're coming out on March 9th from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., and I believe the power company is coming out around 11 a.m. So they want to be here for a few hours to get stuff set up for the power company because the power company has to cut off the power. The email says you may be without power for 4 to 8 hours. So I'm in Florida, so it does get a little bit hot. Even this time of the year, it's going to be like 80 degrees that day. So if you're in Florida, I highly suggest to schedule it before the dead of the summer because during the summertime, if I was without power for 48 hours, this house would get so hot and I would have to probably just leave. The good news is the email does say that you only have to be there for like the beginning of the installation. You don't have to be there the whole time. So if it does get kind of stuffy in here, I'll just go out for lunch or something. It also says to make sure that the area around your electrical panel is clean, and they also at some point I received communication to make sure that your driveway is completely empty of all cars. So before they get here tomorrow, I'm just going to make sure my garage is like super cleaned out, spotless. My driveway is empty. The areas by the electrical panel are very empty and cleaned out. I typically keep my trash cans there, so I'm going to move them. I just want to make it like a super like neat and organized area for them. I'm going to keep my garage completely empty, so if they want to like put their work supplies in there, that's fine. I figure the easier and more convenient I make it for them, the better job they'll do, the quicker they'll be, the more efficient, stuff like that. So, you know, if you're ever doing something like this and your garage is a total mess, like take some time to clean it up, get crap out of the way. I've kind of been slowly cleaning it out over the last few weeks, knowing that this is coming up. We all know that your trash can is limited in size, so every few weeks I throw out some extra junk. I've been organizing, stuff like that. Anyway, this isn't a channel about that. So yeah, that brings it to the end of this video. I guess we'll consider this part 1, part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 coming in the future. So they will install solar and Powerwall tomorrow. They said it would just take 1 day. Keep in mind, they can't just turn it on right away. There has to be an approval process that takes a few weeks. So my official turn on date may not be until late March or early April. I'm probably going to do my next video sometime tomorrow or maybe a few days after, and then a video after that once we get it turned on. If you made it this far, guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to put 2 more videos for you to watch right there. If I've already made the next parts to my video, I'll put them there. If not, something else. Subscribe. You can click my head. I'll put it right here. Have a great day. Bye.